Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Happy Sunday. Sunday? Jesus Christ. Already Sunday. Well, we're doing it, boys and girls. Can I get a mic check? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Get organized over here. Do you know if the R5 is good? The R5 is great, dude. I love the R5. You can probably get a good price on it too. I just bought my first camera. I'm so happy. Nice. What'd you get, man? Congratulations. Congratulations. Do you like the Lumix S9 for video and daily? I like it for daily photography. Video is not the best because that thing's too small and it overheats on you. There's a buddy in here that another chat viewer that that had one and traded it in. It's like, it's good for like little clips and snippets here, but like anything longer than 10-15 minutes, it's not ideal. I like the camera though. I like the S9 for daily photography. 100%. For video, once you start like getting a little bit more into video, it starts to show its limitations pretty quickly. Hello over in YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. Can I get a quick audio check, guys? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. I can get the R5 and the 24 for 2K euros. Nice. Switch 24 to 105. Good audio. Thank you. Appreciate it. John Beat Sanchez. Appreciate you, bro. €2K. What's 2K euros? Is that close to USD? That sounds about right, dude. That sounds about right. It's an older camera though. That's kind of the thing. But it's a good price. Yeah, it's a good price, dude. Pretty decent. It's just a little bit older now. Mm-hmm. Which camera you recommend? It depends on what you're doing, what you want to do. I think the R5 is good. It's a pretty great camera. I'm not gonna lie. Just got the Sony FE35 and close focus is only 22 centimeter. Yeah, nice. Yeah, those close distances, like those little hybrid macro lenses are cool. I'm editing a photo of a black Corvette, which I don't really like to edit because it's black. Any tips? No, not really. Just get it to as close as you want. And then try to take the photo again. You know, when it comes to photography and photos that aren't really like, they're just snapshots, just get it as best as you can and then move on, man. You know, there'll be more opportunities to take similar photos, you know. I got a Fuji X-T33 and a Sigma 18-50. Thumbs up, bro. Frederic. Started with a Canon 3Ti, nice. Now on a Sony A7S III, sick. Yeah, I mean, those Rebel cameras are all right, man. They're good entry-level cameras, but I wouldn't recommend them nowadays. Sony A7 III or A7 IV? A7 IV. Yeah. can you check out my, I'm not doing I do portfolio reviews for YouTube channel members. Will Kaov. Good morning, YouTube. YouTube is waking up. Good morning, YouTube. YouTube vertical's up. YouTube horizontal is not up. Does that mean it's worth the extra price? Yeah, dude. The A7 IV is better, dude. Typically, when things cost more money, that's because they're worth more. You know, it's because they're worth it. I always tell people to buy the best they can afford. Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. Just got the 70-200. Nice, nice. That's a nice lens, dude. Strange question. Is full frame really necessary now, or is cropping still sufficient? Is cropping still sufficient? Full frame is better. Full frame is better generally, but crop sensor cameras are fine as well. But if you can afford a full frame camera, go with full frame. Full frame cameras are more expensive, the lenses are more expensive, but the results are better. That's not to say that you can't get a good image from a crop sensor. You know, I often find that when I say one thing or the other, like people get defensive and like start defending their position. I'm like, it's science, dude. You can't, you know, it's literally physics. You know, more light into your sensor is gonna deliver a better result. Like, is it really worth it? Is what really worth it? I asked because there are still crop frame cameras that are even more expensive. Yeah, there are. There are, but generally they're not. Like, you got to compare apples to apples. Also, you have to know what your needs are. I find it's very common for people to decide on what camera they want to buy before they even know what the fuck they want to do. Oh, look at this. The Sony's on sale right now. I was using this camera yesterday for some product videos that I was doing on TikTok. This camera is nice, dude. This is a decent price for it. $1,000. $1,000 is pretty good. Normally this retails for about $1,200, and that's a little expensive for it. But $1,000 is a decent price. But yeah, all of these cameras that you guys see on your screen right now, I own all of these cameras. There's full frame cameras, there's crop sensor cameras, there's action cameras. So I have experience with all of them, and I can tell you without a doubt that, ooh, I need to add a new camera to this actually. Because I just bought the Canon R6V the other day. R6V. Here it is. Canon R6V. This is a crazy price, dude. They did a phenomenal job with this. That's not right. Yeah, Panasonic. I'll have to add that. Yes, but there are things that might limit your work. Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%. Why do people hate Nikon cameras and they make memes? Because Nikon, don't feel bad for Nikon, man. Nikon does it to themselves. It's just easy to make fun of Nikon, you know. There's nothing wrong with them though, but they're just the easy kid to pick on, you know what I mean? They're just easy to pick on, that's all. They're fine though. Yeah, so I just added the Canon R6V. So let's see. Yes. Canon R6V. Yeah, they're just easy to pick on. There's nothing wrong with them though. I have an FX3 as my video camera, but I had an R6, not the Mark II. Thinking about getting the A7 V. What do you want the A7 V for? Just photos? That's a pretty good combo. Yeah, that's a pretty good combo for sure. For photo. Oh yeah, perfect, dude. Yeah, perfect. Bro, is the R6V good for school documentary? I'm kind of interested to buy R6V. Yeah, it's a video camera, dude. It's a video camera. I just got it the other day. I got it one day early, actually. This is the R6V right here. I was just doing a little rig video. I'm going to make another rig video on my YouTube channel. For those of you guys that are hanging over on TikTok, if you haven't gone over to YouTube, please do so. Consider subscribing over there. I'm really focusing a lot more time on YouTube and creating longer form content. I also need your guys' help to think of content ideas. The cameraman. Yeah. Our A7 V for photos, bro. And you got the FX3 already? You're solid, bro. You got nothing else. You got nothing else to buy. Mm-hmm. You got to buy insurance. You got to buy insurance. Mm. 24 to 105 f2.8 is what I would recommend, or a 24 to 70. I remember a funny meme about IMAX. Its sound is terrifying. I don't know how actors can stand it. Yeah, it's a pretty loud camera. Yeah, the A7R5 and the A7R6, the new cameras, those cameras are really impressive, dude. That megapixel count is really, it's really something else. Yeah, it's really something else, dude. Yeah, it's really something else. Why do you think that despite his wealth, Nolan still rents IMAX and doesn't buy it? He might not be able to buy it. They don't sell, IMAX doesn't sell those cameras. I think you have to rent them. And it just probably doesn't make sense to own them. This camera is expensive though. $4,500. Look at this fucking thing, dude. Noah's Cars, thank you for the follow. Is the 65 good for filming? It's all right for filming, bro. What site has the best protection to order? I don't know. You got to find, if you're looking for like theft protection and like you need insurance. So I would just shop around some insurance. Like if shipping gets scammed. Oh, you got to buy from a reputable reseller, bro. Like if you want buyer protection, you got to buy from what country are you in? Are you in the United States? I use USA. I use Amazon or BH, but I don't want to hassle. They be tripping. Why are they tripping? I buy from B&H and Amazon all the time. And they're never tripping. What are they specifically tripping about? Malik, what's up, Malik? Sony or Canon? Canon. Do you think that with the development of cameras, Sony, for example, could one day surpass IMAX? No. Adorama. I've never bought anything directly from Adorama. I have bought from MPB and B&H. But Malik, what was the hassle that you had, or what was the issue? KEH, 0 issues. LensRentals.com, 0 issues. Amazon, 0 issues. B&H, 0 issues. Is the camera really that special? Yeah, it's just the format. It's just the type of film that it takes, bro. Yeah, it's just a completely different kind of film medium, and you're able to really, yeah, it's special, dude. That's why they have to charge more. They just kept changing the shipping date, and it came like months later. Oh, bro, I would have canceled that. Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that specifically. The only time that I ever had an issue with B&H, it wasn't necessarily anybody's fault. I had ordered the Fujifilm X106. I had ordered the Fuji X106 5 minutes after it had released. And literally 5 minutes after it had released. And it took 9 months for me to get it. But again, that wasn't the fault of the of B&H. It was just the demand of the camera. Do you think it's possible Canon will release a medium format line? No idea. No idea. Approach yourself. I don't really know what their business plans are, you know, like every company has their own objectives. So if it's not in their, you know, their plans, you know, especially like Japanese brands, they have like, the Japanese have like 100-year business plans and business models like mocked up and stuff. So I don't want to say it's not possible. Sure, anything's possible. Yo, I'm going to do a video shoot for the first time. Can I have some tips? What's the shoot on, Roski? What's the premise of the video? What is the cheapest, truly affordable cinema camera you can buy? Proper cinema camera? Probably, you know what? It's not a cinema camera, but I'm going to say it's the R6V, dude. Also the C50. Probably the C50. This is a proper cinema camera right here. It's a little baby one. The Nikon ZR, you know, that one's pretty decent. I don't know if that's technically a cinema camera though. R50V is not a cinema camera. It's cute, but that's not a cinema camera. Nah, I wouldn't consider that. It's a video camera. Yo, what's your biggest piece of advice for a new photographer? Go outside. Go outside and shoot every day, Michael. Shoot every single day. Shoot every single day and edit every single day. Do that for 30 days straight. Kind of like a Sweet 16 kind of vid, like a prenup shoot. A prenup? Wide, medium, and tight, bro. Wide, medium, and tight. So get plenty of wide shots, get plenty of medium shots, and get plenty of tight shots, and then stitch that together in a sequence. I mean, it'll get the, well, that wasn't the question, right? The question was cinema camera. Best $300 camera, your cell phone probably. I don't think I'd spend $300 on a camera. I have a Canon R50. Any tips? Get a decent lens. I'm using the R50 right now. This is the R50 up here. This is the Canon R8 down here. I love the R50. You pair it with a good lens, you're off to the races, man. I love the R50. R50 and the R50V is those are two of my like most recommended camera bodies. The Malik, check this out, dude. They finally got some sense. The Canon R100, bro, is $379. They dropped the price. What would be a good lens? I have a 50 millimeter. The 50, what is it? The Plastic Fantastic, the Nifty 50. That's solid, dude. It just depends on what you're trying to do, man. You know, what you're trying to do for what you're trying to photograph, what you're trying to film. What are your objectives? Again, I was just talking about this just a second ago. Like, it's common for people to try to figure out what gear they want first before they figure out what the fuck they want to do. Like, am I going to be doing photographs? If so, what kind of photographs am I going to be doing? Am I going to be doing video? If so, what kind of video am I going to be doing? What's my budget? You know, there's like a bunch of questions that you need to answer before you start thinking about gear. Because you can easily make a bunch of mistakes from buying just random shit that you don't even know nothing about. You don't even, you're not even going to use, or it doesn't even serve your purpose. G baby, what's up, G baby? I'm thinking about renting an R7 for my backup at a wedding. What's your first camera? Remind me. Gee, baby, now you're just renting shit, right? Now that you found that lens rental website, you're like, I'm gonna rent everything. Brother. Yeah, it's cheap, dude. It's pretty cheap, dude. What about if you're looking to take wildlife content with the R50? What lens would be best? Probably a 70 to 200 at a minimum, or a 100 to 500 is what I would do. 100 to 500, yeah, RF, or the 70 to 200 at a minimum. Yeah, you need a nice long lens. Ooh, you know what though? Sigma did release a, it's a variable aperture lens, but it's pretty good. It's like a 300. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this lens right here. It's a variable aperture, but I would probably take a look at this lens right here, dude. This is the Sigma 16 to 300 f3.5 to 6.7. It's not as fast as I would like it, but this is pretty affordable, pretty reasonable. And I think it would be good just to get you started, you know, so you can like understand what a lens actually, what a decent lens is, you know. So I'd probably recommend something like this for sure. And the 16, like the 16 on the 50 millimeter, I mean, on the R50, you could still like create content with it. You could point it at yourself and like create content. So it's not like super punched in. And the 16 to 300 millimeter is like crazy. Chester, what's up, Chester? Good morning, buddy. Did you post that video yet? Let's go see Chester. Go to channel. Not yet. You got one more day, Chester. You sleeping, bro. You sleeping, man. It's all good, buddy. I get it. We're all busy. I have a Sony 64 looking for a clear quality for streaming. Any advice on lenses? Yeah, the Sigma lenses are all really nice. I have all of the Sigma lenses. They're all very, very good. So are you on YouTube, Simply Raphael? If you're on TikTok, you can go to my link in bio and I have all of the lenses I recommend. I recommend for streaming the 12, the 16, the 23. These are all really nice. The 23 millimeter, you can see me on this camera right here. This is the 23 millimeter. I think it's all right. I could be a little bit wider, but I kind of like this this focal length right here on the crop sensor. So that right there is the 23 millimeter. That's this lens right here. But the 16 is really nice as well. The 16 is really nice as well. Just depends. Just depends on what your needs are, what kind of look you want to do. I'm on Twitch. Doesn't really matter where you are. I'm saying so that you can go to my links is what I was referring to. I slept till 1 today. Jesus. Oh, you got that nightlife going, man. Your schedule's all messed up. I have problems with the R50 autofocus, like it loses focus quickly if there's movement. Interesting. You need to be your autofocus settings are probably not set properly. Okay, I got you. I'm looking for a warm solid view. What is a warm solid view? What does that mean? What is a warm solid view? Oh, hold on. Warm solid view. Is it this one? No, is it this one? What? Yeah, what is a warm solid view? What? Help me set them up, please. I'm not there. I'm not there. I can't help you set it up. I'm using the R50 and my autofocus is pretty good. Honestly, I just told you what I have. Simply Raphael. I literally showed you exactly what I have. This is it, dude. But also keep in mind, bro, that I have like, you know, professional lighting gear. You know, I'm really well lit. I have accents on my wall. You know what I mean? So this is all light design. Granted, my background is definitely super messy, but this is the lens that I'm using right now on my 50 millimeter. Literally, that's this image right here. That's this one right here. This one right here. Not this one. This one. Chester, what's the premise of your next video, bro? What are you cooking up? I do have more photos though, but that's all I can show for myself. No, I mean for the for videos. Your next video. A little rig video. Nice. Yeah. Make sure consider adding you know, some nice SEO to your titles and your description, and you should be pretty good, bro. Rig videos. I'm doing a rig video myself today. I got a couple of TikTok shop videos to make, and then I'm gonna edit some. I have a bunch of editing to do today, actually. I have a project that I haven't even touched. Well, what I did was I created the folder structure for them for the project, and I just kind of left it there. I didn't even start editing them. It's not a serious project. It's one of the projects that I did for free, so I'm not really super motivated to get it done. But I should probably work on it today and do that. And then I'm going to do the R6V rig video. But I got a bunch of videos planned. Once you start creating content, man, the ideas start like flooding, you know? I have unlimited editing right now. Bro, even if you do like editing tips, you know, bro, you could kill it on your channel, man. You are, in my opinion, Chester, you are living the dream as like an exploring photographer, exploring creative, you know, a content creator that's out in the sticks, dude. Bro, so many brands would love to work with somebody like you, man, that could pay you. It takes a while to get there. It takes a while to get there, but you're not going to get there by doing shit, you know, by doing nothing. But even your editing videos, if you can teach somebody how to edit, you know, or how to set up a timeline, you know, start thinking about like evergreen videos, start thinking about, you know, long tail videos. Those are all like, you know, but like I said the other day when I was having a conversation with you, you really gotta really define your goals and use the SMART goal framework and really sit down and put some work into it and then work towards it, you know. Phil Saunders, what's up, Phil Saunders? Close to getting an R6 Mark III, but the R6 catching my eye, but so much more. If you can afford the R5 Mark II, I would get the R5 Mark II, Phil Saunders. You're not going to regret that decision. R6 Mark III is solid. I own both of those cameras, the R6 III and the R5 II, and the R5 II is pretty great, dude. All right, bro, I'll catch you. I'll catch you in a bit. Is photography still viable in 2026? AI is getting near indistinguishable. No, dude, photography is still valid. You haven't helped my wallet there. Yeah, well, let me put it to you this way, Phil Saunders. Like, I have a lot of cameras and I've built my entire business off of making money off of cameras. So like I do this professionally, right? I create content, I do interviews, I create videos, I create content for brands, for businesses. Like, this is what I do professionally. If you're not doing or not considering doing this like as a full-time gear, as a full-time career, then the R6 Mark III is plenty, right? And you can definitely make a good living off of them. But the way that I like to frame it is like, if I lost everything and had to claw my way back, the camera that I would choose to do that with, that would be by my side, would be the R5 Mark II. That camera is ridiculously good, dude. But again, it is expensive, so I do feel you on that. I do feel you on that. You're a wedding photographer? Yeah, dude. Then you know. Then you know, dude. The 45 megapixels on the R5 Mark II is undeniable, dude. I'm thinking of getting an FX3 C50 R6V. What would you recommend? I would probably, if you're thinking about FX3 or C50, I would probably take out the R6V out of that conversation. But I own the C50, the FX3. I mean, FX3 is, you can't beat on its low light capabilities. It does have 12 megapixels, you know. Tell me about the Canon R1. What are you on? I don't own the Canon R1. The Canon R1, if I were to, you know, what I know about the Canon R1 is that it's a professional sports photographer's camera. So like for like F1, NASCAR, NFL, FIFA, people, those kind of people, those high level people, they use the Canon R3 and the Canon R1. I am not that level of photographer, so I have no need for a Canon R1. If I had unlimited money, would I buy one? Yes. If I had unlimited money, I would buy a Canon R1, but those are my opinions on it. At my level, the R5 that I have is more than enough camera. Yeah, but if you can afford the R1, I always tell people, always, I've said it a couple times on this stream, buy the best that you can afford. If you can afford the R1, if you can afford the R5 Mark II, that's what I would be getting. You're never going to be disappointed in buying the best that you can afford. Now, that doesn't mean that I encourage you to go into debt for a camera. You know, that doesn't mean you can afford it. That just means that you have enough credit. So I wouldn't put yourself into debt or like put up next month's rent money on a new camera. Do you know Magic Lantern? Have you tried it? No, Magic Lantern, is that software that like hacks jailbreaks your camera? I've heard of it, but I would never do anything like that to my camera. I have the R5 Mark II, but the lower megapixel on the R1 is stopping me. No, see, the R1 isn't necessarily a high res. It's what is it, 24 megapixels? It's not meant for those high megapixel shots. It's meant for speed, dude. Like that's, you know, like if I worked for the NFL, the NHL, FIFA, you know, NASCAR, F1 racing, then I would be getting an R1. You know what I mean? Like that's a high level camera that is meant for those. If I was a documentary filmmaker, not a documentary, like a journal, what is it called? If I did journalistic photography, is that what it's called? If I was a journalist that did photography, a photojournalist, I would be getting an R1. You know what I mean? But this is a whole nother level of camera, dude. Like you have some very, very specific professional needs if you have this camera. Unless you can just afford it and you have the big bucks, this is for a working professional, you know, a working professional at the highest level. What do you think about the C50 and what's it like storage wise? I heard the file sizes are huge, but I love the C50, dude. The C50 is my first, Angelo is my first cinema camera, and it was a nice entry point into the cinema world where the camera feels familiar, the shape of it, the weight of it, all my lenses work on it. So the C50 is spectacular. My favorite part on the C50, bro, is the handle. The top handle on the C50 is really fucking special, dude. Really special. It's made really, really well. It has the switch on it, you know, on it. It has the XLR inputs. It is fantastic. Fantastic. That makes sense, brother. Thank you. You're welcome, brother. Yeah, I feel the same way. Maybe not so much about the R3. The R3 is also, I think that the R3 is a baby version of the R1. Still a phenomenal machine. But the R1 is just another tier of camera, right? Try to get a Nikon Z3, maybe a Z7 II. What do you think? What are the differences between them, Dan? What I like to do whenever I'm deciding between a camera is I just go into B&H and I compare them. I just add them to the compare feature that they have. Z7 II. I don't know the differences off the top of my head. They seem similarly priced. So let's look at these. If I were buying one of these cameras, which one would I buy? So let's look at the price. 2,000 versus 1,900, so about the same price. Ooh, look at this, 45.7 megapixels. So what are you doing, Dan? Yeah, what are you doing? Like, what do you plan on doing? Both have IBIS. Both have mechanical electronic shutter. Oh, this one has a mechanical shutter, so that's a big This one says mechanical plane focal. Do they both have mechanical shutters? They seem very similar. 20 FPS, yeah. But this is because this has this huge megapixel resolution. So what are you doing with it? Both have 14-bit. Ooh, this has 8-bit. So I'm definitely going over here for video. This has 24-bit and 16-bit. CF Express, nice. Same resolution screen, viewfinder. Ooh, look at the viewfinder on this one. This one has almost 2 million more dots. I'm getting the R6V. Unless you really need that resolution, I'm getting the R6V. I'm a motorsport photographer. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting the Z6 then, for sure. Only the Z9 has an electronic shutter. Bro, is the Canon R6 Mark III is recommended? Hell yeah, dude. R6V is great. I would Dan, it does depend on you, right? So based off of this little quick overview, I'm placing myself in my needs as my current workflow, and what I would need, the Z6 has it. The Z7 II, it looks kind of cool. It's fine with that big resolution, but I would prefer the Z6 Jimmy B, when it comes to the computer, what are you using or recommending for storage, RAM? As much as possible. I'm using a Windows machine. Jimmy B, on my TikTok, my link in bio, I have all of the gear that I use in my link in bio under my little Amazon button. And here you can look up my streaming setup. I think I have it here. No, I have it under my workstation. I have a category called workstation. And here I have all the PCs and all of the PC hardware and laptops that I use. Catherine, what's up, Catherine? How are you? I think I could go Z8 also. I have a big enough budget, honestly. Z8, well, that's another machine, right? Yeah, Z8. Dan, I've said this a couple times in this live. Buy the best that you can afford. You know, you don't need to buy everything all at once either. You know, is it the Z8 that has the same sensor as the Z6? I know one of those cameras share the same sensors, if I remember correctly. Hey, do you know the file type would change from JPEG to Canon RAW when imported? Do you know why the file type would change from JPEG to Canon RAW when imported? No. I only shoot in Canon RAW and import as RAW. So you're saying that on the back of your on your camera, you might have two files. You might be taking two photos. You can set your camera to take two photos, one RAW and one JPEG. Should I go R6V or do you have other recommendations? R6V, R6 Mark III if you're going Canon, A7V if you're going Sony. Negative view photo from the negative view photo. Long time no see, buddy. How are you? Probably using, that's what it sounds like, JPEG plus RAW. Yeah. The app delivers JPEGs only. Oh, that could be possible. So negative view photo, what you're saying is if you transfer photos to your app or to your phone via the app, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Aperture, what should I buy for my first mirrorless cam? R10, R50V, or should I save for full frame? Aperture, it really depends on what you're doing, broski. What are you doing? I'm gonna do hybrid. If you're going hybrid, bro, I probably would go for like an R6 Mark II or an R6 Mark III. If you're on a budget and you want to go full frame semi-hybrid, the R8. The R8 is a really nice hybrid, especially if you're on Canon. The R8 isn't technically like a, marketed as a hybrid camera, but I love the R8 for photos and for video. It's a really, really nice camera, and it's full frame, and you get a nice like entry level into the full frame at not such a expensive price. And the R8 looks like it's on sale right now. Normally this camera costs about $1,400, so you can buy it for $1,300. And this isn't much more than a new Canon R10. So I would be looking at the R8 if you're on a budget. If you have a little bit more cash, I would probably look at the R6 Mark III. R6 Mark III. This is a lot more cash, I should say. This is probably the end goal, but if you're on a budget right now, this R8 is probably a really good. I'm using the Canon R8 right now. This is the Canon R8. Beautiful video, beautiful photos, 24 megapixels, nice low light, 4K 60, no crop, 1080 120 or 1080 180. It has high resolution mode. It's a really nice camera. Okay, got it. So the Z7 II has the same sensor as the Z8. Yeah, and the Z8 has that different shape as well, right? The Z8. Let's look at the Z8. Nikon Z8. Woo, look at this. God damn. That price really jumps up, dude. Oh no, it's the same. Oh no, it's a little different shape. Is it the Z9 that I was thinking of that has like that square body? Look at that, dude. Wow. Yeah, so these share the same sensor is what it is, or a similar sensor. 30 FPS. Look at this. Wow. This is probably the camera that you want, broski. The Z8. Okay, thanks. Yep, no problem. I've been stuck with the Nikon 31 for 3 years, so I need to make sure it's raw. Yeah, on the back of your camera, under the image format, I forget exactly where it's at, but you should see something that says the, let's see, menu. But how can you talk to me about the process of you getting your photos? So usually on menu 1. So Catherine, on menu 1 right here, you can see image quality. And then when you click this, I usually keep mine on RAW. And then I have the little tick mark on the JPEG. So I'm not getting any. I have this set up for all of my cameras. And then that just writes to the SD card in RAW. And then I take the SD card, put that into my machine or my SD card reader, my laptop or my PC. And then I export in RAW. What Negative View Photo is saying is if you're transferring photos from your camera to your machine via an app, the app is only transferring them as JPEGs, which is a good thing to remember. Do you have a Canon? I'll have a look. Thank you. Yeah. But tell me about how you're transferring your for your photos. Where are you? Be specific. Valerie Visions. What's up, Valerie? How are you? Supersonic. Hey, hi. I take football games, photo and video. I want high quality. What do you recommend? What's your budget, Supersonic? A Sony A7 IV, A7 V, Canon R6 Mark II, Mark III. Z9 is absolutely ridiculous. Similar sensor to the Z8, just better color, around 5K though. Yeah, that's for the pros, you know, for the 2K. $2,000 budget. Check out the R6 Mark II or the A7 IV. Supersonic. Good morning, good morning. What time is it? 8:20, Jesus. I've already been on for an hour already. Yeah, I recommend those two cameras, Supersonic. Do you like Canon or do you like Sony better? By the way, guys, the website that I use to compare these photos or these cameras is bnhphotovideo.com. I'm sure there's other comparison sites, but I like this one. I like B&H just to compare them side by side. When you compare them side by side like this, you get to see all the prices, and then you get to see all of their specs side by side. Right, I've just seen my settings. They are the same as yours. Right, but now tell me about your importing process. Like, what are you actually doing? Thank you for the follow over on YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. What are you guys up to? What are you guys up to? Over on YouTube, where are you guys all from? Me, I'm from the United States, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Actually, TikTok, where are you guys all from? Can you guys leave your city in the chat? Thunder, what's up, buddy? UK, okay, UK. How it's late over there, right? Croatia, what's the hello from Croatia? Hello, hello. Thunder 21, how you dern? I found a 180 to 600 millimeter for 19. Might have to. All right, Dan. Okay, Dan. Chicago, Illinois. All right. Ireland, Seattle. Jesus Christ. Valerie Visions, North Carolina. Hi from Hong Kong. Holy fuck, dude. Where's Hong Kong at? That's fucking far, dude. That is far. I just saw a video of one of my favorite creators. He was in Hong Kong. Look at that shit, dude. Holy shnikes, bro. I'm way the hell over here, bro. Hong Kong is wild. That's probably the craziest location today. It's 1:22 p.m. Over here, it is 8 a.m., Catherine. Is there any software for color grading pictures for free? There's a couple, dude. There's a couple. I forget what they are called. I use Adobe Lightroom. But there's Photo-P. I think Photo-P is a free one. You can find a bunch of good ones. I do need to make some content on some free photo editing softwares. Just to put it on my YouTube channel. I have it written down somewhere. I just haven't gotten around to it. But that would make a good video. It's 8:22 p.m. right now. It's 8:22 p.m. Is it yesterday or is it today over there? What's the date? What do you think of the Canon RP? The Canon RP is all right. If you can, do you own it or are you thinking about buying it? Yeah, Tim, let's see. Free editing software. I mean, I would just use Google. Free photo editing software. And I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but if I see them, then I remember. GIMP. GIMP is one. GIMP is a really good one. Darktable, that's another really good one. I hear a lot of good things about it. Web-based Canva. Canva's are. Photo-P is better. Photo-P is more like Photoshop, though. I remember that. So I would do GIMP and I would do Darktable. Photo-P if you're doing like Photoshop style editing. Snapseed, that's Google's mobile app. I did remember this one, Snapseed. So there's 3 there for you. June 28th, Sunday evening. Yeah, June 28th for us too. Got it. Tim, later. Dan, he was asking for free. Oh, the mobile version is free. You're right. Yeah. What do you think of the Canon 60D? I'm trying to do some landscape. 60D is fine, dude. Not sure why my comment isn't coming up, so let's try something else. I see your comment, Catherine. I see maybe one of your comments isn't coming up. Yeah, the Lightroom mobile version is like, I would say 80% of it's free, and then there are some stuff behind the paywall. You could do 100% of your work with all the free stuff, though. It's been a while since I've had the free version, though, so that might have changed. I recommend Affinity is supposed to be a really good one. I did want to make a video about that, too. For Affinity, though, do you know if you have to have a Canva subscription, or is it just free to use without one? SD card reader into Mac Air. So now I would ask you, Catherine, to check your ingest settings. So you're importing them. So something is happening where you're importing them as JPEGs. On your Mac Air, when you dump them onto your computer in a folder, are those Canon RAW files or are they JPEGs? Or is it only when you put them into an editor? What editing software are you using, Catherine? It's funny how I'm the only one who's using Canon in my group. Everyone is using Sony. It's the choice between Sony, Canon, and Nikon oftentimes is regional too. People from New York City might use Sony. People from LA might use Canon. Canva is free user plus Affinity. No need to pay, free user. Got it. I need to check out Affinity. I do need to check out Affinity because I did hear a lot of good things about it. So. It's now all Canon RAW when importing. It's taking ages now. It used to import as a JPEG and quicker. Well, yeah, because JPEGs are a lot smaller files. Yeah, you really should be editing off of an SSD, though, Catherine. You shouldn't be editing off of your built-in storage on your PC. If you were editing off of your SSD, off of an external SSD, it'd be a lot faster. A hard drive, yes. No, not an HDD, an SDD. Why do different states choose different brands? It's like I said, it's regional. It's regional. It's also goes between different groups of friends, and like it's just it just happens naturally. Like certain groups of people migrate to one, and then one person sees, oh, that guy's using Canon, I must use Canon, and that person says, oh, that guy's using Canon, and then it just kind of grows organically from that, right? Trends, it's not really defined by its region, and then oftentimes it ebbs and flows. So like a group of people will all be like in Canon, and then eventually one person will switch over to Sony, and then everybody migrates over to Sony over the period of like 5 to 10 years. Can you remove the black bars when recording video on the R6V and make it full screen? Not sure what you mean. Not sure what you mean, CRWN photos. I checked the... Hold on. I checked Canon R6 Mark II. Sorry, didn't catch second. Recommend. Photo, video. Sony A7 IV. Oh, an SSD. I'll have a look. Yeah, an SSD is significantly faster. Significantly faster. But you shouldn't be editing off of your machine's internal storage, Catherine. And if you're just editing, you can keep your hard drive, edit off of the SSD, the SSD, and then transfer everything off of your SSD to the HDD for long-term storage. Can you show me an example? I could maybe get one, please. For storage? Yeah, I have everything linked in my link in bio, Catherine. And I have SSDs for storage. And, just for editing, 1 terabyte is fine. because you're just using it to edit off of, right? So something like this right here. These are the storage ones that I have, SDDs. I have like 5 or 6 of these things. Mine are larger ones because I use them for bigger projects, but I have a bunch of these. And these are plenty. They have more rugged ones like these ones right here. And they have them in 1 terabyte capacity. These are the same, except they have like a rubberized thing so that they can take like bumps and bruises. But yeah, Samsung SSDs. R5V, R6V, my bad. Sony ad campaign. Yeah, that too. They're marketing, Josh. Yeah, exactly right. Guys, if you're brand new on TikTok and you guys have not followed yet, please consider doing so. Really trying to get my account to 10,000 followers by the end of the month. And I could use your guys' help to get there. Also, if you guys are into YouTube, I also have a YouTube channel. I'm multi-streaming over there. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subs over on YouTube. Could also use your support over there if you haven't subscribed. I do appreciate all of the support. I do this stuff 100% for free, where I try to answer as many questions as possible. I don't claim to know all of the answers, but I'll help you make a decision on some stuff. Like, you know, Catherine right now is having some questions about some SSD stuff, and we're just slowly working through the hurdles that she may or may not be going through. In video mode, it's not full screen. It looks like it's 9:16. On photo mode, you can set it to full screen. Yeah, so you need to be on open gate for the full aspect ratio. But then you're going to be recording a 7K video. But 9:16 is full screen, essentially. What you're talking about is you want open gate. But yeah, you can set your CRWN, you can set your stuff to open gate. Hard drives can also be unreliable, especially older ones, 100%, because there's moving parts in them, you know, so they'll wear on you. Expensive right now. Yeah, SSDs are expensive. And listen, guys, SSDs and HDDs and SD cards, they're only going to be more expensive. RAM prices, it's only going to get more and more expensive. So if you can find a decent deal on storage, everybody here, truthfully, everybody here needs to be working towards getting what is called a NAS system. This is the one that I own. I own a 6-bay NAS system, but they sell them in like 2-bay, 3-bay, and single bay, dual bay, 4-bay, and 6 and 8. The one that I have is this guy right here. This is going to last me probably for the rest of my life. It's a super expensive investment, but absolutely worth the investment, especially right now because of AI, and these storage prices are going to be, they're only going up, guys. They're only going up. People that think that it's going to, you know, bubble and pop and the price are going to go down to follow, it isn't. It isn't. Thank you. We'll take a look. You've helped me massively on my photography. I got you, Catherine. I'm happy to help. I appreciate you stopping in. Jen. Hello, Jen. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. How do you deal with your Lightroom catalog? Do you keep your Lightroom catalog internally or in Mac, or store it per project in each SSD? I just keep a Lightroom catalog just running, and then I have folders within each one. But my Lightroom catalog is all on a what's it called? M.2 drive. And then when that M.2 drive fills up, I transfer everything to my NAS, and then I start a new catalog. So I guess it's not the most optimal way to store my edited photos and my projects, but I just keep one catalog until it fills up, and then I move it over. I buy 28 to 70 f2. Don't know if no, definitely won't regret it, bro. What'll happen, bro, is that you'll get strong. Yes, looking at that in the future. Yeah, for NASs, like I know that 6 bays is crazy, but even if you get something like a dual bay or 2 bay like this guy right here, this is pretty reasonable. But then you do have to buy hard discs. But if you get like 2 hard discs like this one right here, look at these prices right here. If you get 2 of these bad boys, you're at 1,000. But then you'll have 44 terabytes. You know what I mean? Like, so look at this price, $549 for 22 terabytes versus buying SSD, buying one of these 2 terabytes that costs $500. So this is the big price difference, right? So look at this, 2 terabytes, $500. Okay, got it. Or you can get 22 terabytes for $500. Is it still expensive? Yeah, fucking right. It's a lot of money, but it's just, you know, you got to plan for the future. Sony APS-C lens recommendation. I already have a Sigma 18-50. What Jeezy playbook. What are you trying to do, Jeezys? Also, thank you from my side. I'll check your, yeah, no problem, Supersonic. I appreciate you stopping in. Again, guys, if you're not subscribed over on YouTube, please hop over there. I got a bunch of videos that I make, long form videos. And I could use your guys' help to get to 5K. Jeezy's playbook 24 to 28. He's using a crop sensor, Dan. 24 to 70 is still solid though, for sure. But his 18 to 50 is essentially a 24 to 70. What's the fast way to calibrate ISO? Honestly, I'm kind of new to photography. ISO? Just look at the room. Look at the room and see what the see if it looks good to the eye, you know? What I used to do is I just used to set it to auto ISO, and then I would switch it to manual ISO after I set it to auto. I mean the exposure triangle. Practice, dude. You just gotta practice. For me, like, I already know kind of where I want to be for videos and for photos. You know what I mean? So like one of the things that I like to do is I set, like, for example, if I'm photographing skateboarders, I know that there's like fast moving action. So I want to be at like 1/500, 1/1000, 1/2000 to capture the actual, their movement, right? But if I'm doing street photography, then I don't need to be at such a high, shutter speed. So I set one setting, and then after that, I kind of figure out where I want to be. If I'm doing bird photography, I want to be super fast, you know? It just really depends, bro. Yeah, it just really depends on what you want to, what kind of photos you want to take. And then I work from one setting and then I adjust the other ones to make the photo look good. Braden, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Maybe 24 to 120. Yeah, I mean, for who's asking that? Is it Dan? Dan is asking? No, who's asking? Tim, right? It just depends on what you're doing, man. We need more information to give you a recommendation. So have I gone wrong by getting an HDD? It's always great to use HDDs. No, so the way that it works, Catherine, is like I would, so I can kind of draw this up for you if you want, just because I'm here. Just, I like drawing things and it's kind of like for illustrative purposes. So basically what I like to do is, let's see, let's have a computer. Let's take this photo, Control-Shift-S. Let's take an HDD here. And then let's paste this. HDD, and then let's do Do I even have any HDDs? Here we go. This is an HDD here. And we'll just create this because this will be beneficial for other people too. And then let's go to a laptop. Let's see, my workstation. So here is a proper PC. Here's a laptop. Control V. And then let's grab a camera. Whoops. Let's grab an SD card. We're just having a little fun here, guys. Having a little fun. Let's grab an SD card. All right. So what we have here is you take a photo. All right. I'm gonna dumb this down very elementary level, very 5th grade, 6th grade level understanding. So you have your camera, right? You take a photo and it goes into your SD card. In here, you can choose to have it either one or two ways. You can have a RAW photo or you can have a JPEG photo. I personally shoot everything in RAW, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to edit off of an SSD. So what I do is I dump everything into an SSD right here, and then I edit. So I create a folder within here for all of the photos and I dump them into here. And then I have a connection that goes into my laptop or my machine. And then from this, I import it into Lightroom and then I start editing. Okay. And then the next thing that I do after I'm done editing and I have those photos, I put the edited photos back into the SSD. And then I grab the folder, the whole completed folder. And then I transfer everything into an HDD for long-term storage. And then I come back to this drive over here, my SSD, and I delete everything. And then after that, I also go into my SD card and I delete everything. And then this over here, this is 10 terabytes. This can hold a lot of photos. You can also choose to delete your raw photos from here because you're only going to keep your edited photos. I choose to keep my photos for at least a year. And then the first thing when I'm running out of space over here, this is a 10 terabyte. When I'm running out of space, the first thing that I do is I delete the raws. I delete raw photos. I know I kind of went all over the place there, but does that kind of make sense? So it's like a workflow. Just bought the Sony 6700. Nice. Does small rig have a fluid head or twist and pan tripod? Yeah, they do. You want to look up a small rig video tripod. Right, so SSD is more for speed. Sorry, still, yeah, exactly. So it'll be like lightning fast. So like those raw photos that you have, those are big files. And if you transfer those to an HDD and you're trying to edit, the HDD is doing a lot of work because there's a lot of moving parts in it. It's not as fast. So you want to do all of your importing and processing onto the SSD. And then once you're done doing everything that you're going to do, you grab the entire thing and transfer it onto the HDD. And only once you've done that, you go backwards and you delete your SSD and you delete your SD card. So you want wireless? Try DJI or Hollyland. Yes, made sense. Thank you. Yep. You're welcome, Catherine. Happy to help. Happy to help. As you can see, guys, I have a lot of I draw a lot on this fucking account on my Canva thing. So I have a lot of other examples where I've kind of used other kind of little photo examples of stuff where I'm explaining random concepts, you know, so people can get like a visual representation of what I'm talking about instead of just me like rambling. If you want a shotgun mic, use the Rode NTG3 or the Sennheiser. Those are expensive. I like the Rode NTG video mic. I am thinking about getting a Sennheiser though, but because I'd like an XLR shotgun mic. I think that would be really cool, but I'm going to be saving up for that. The very next thing that I'm actually buying and I'm saving up for, guys, is, believe it or not camera related. I'm saving up to purchase a PS5 so I can play Grand Theft Auto. The new Grand Theft Auto when that comes out. Right. I'll try that. I'll look for the Samsung S. Yeah. And because you're only using your SSDs, Catherine, as an editing drive, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Well, this is a lot of money, but you don't need to spend you don't need like more than 1 terabyte at a time, because you're only working off of this and then you're deleting it and you're clearing it after every project or every 2 to 3 projects or so, or whenever you run out of space, because you have that HDD as a backup. Thanks. So basically, as it's now importing as RAW, it's bigger and making exactly. So they're larger files. They're much larger files, and it's going to take you forever. And in a world like, for example, I'll use myself as an example. Like, I work as a professional photographer, as a content creator, right? So for me, I cannot sit in front of a computer for 30-40 minutes waiting for files to import, because time is money, right? We all know that. So I'd rather have like a fast working thing. And so would you, right? Because you don't want to be sitting in front of your computer or like wasting time just waiting for the import. And also, the way that I described it in terms of the workflow that I have, it creates what's called redundancy, meaning that if somebody paid me $5,000 for my photo work and photos to be delivered, and something were to happen in that process and my photos all get deleted, that person that paid me $5,000 for a wedding now will never get their photos, and I'm out $5,000 because obviously I have to return the money. And not only that, but their special moment that can't be recreated is gone forever. Right? So as a working professional, you need to have systems of redundancy placed into your workflow so that you can avoid, as like kind of a stopgap, or what I like to call a CYA, cover your own ass, so that you don't lose valuable assets being photos that are supposed to be delivered for pay. Can you explain the difference between APS-C and full frame? Yeah, it's the size, Dev. It's the size of the sensor. So an APS-C sensor size is significantly smaller than another one. I actually have some illustrations of that too. So right here, I have these are all sensor sizes right here. So this is the size of a full frame sensor over here. This is a APS-C right here. So you can see that they are physically a different size, right? Then there's cell phones, you know, rinky-dinky cell phones, action cameras. Action cameras are usually right around here, both of these. Chris Garcia, what's up, man? APS-C is crop sensor, meaning it has 1.3 more zoomed in. Sometimes 1.3, sometimes 1.5, sometimes 1.6. Does it have an impact on the quality? Yeah, it does. It does. The larger amount of light that's available to enter the sensor, the higher quality the image typically is. But now that doesn't mean that an APS-C sensor takes shitty photos. It just means that there's less light getting into it. So in low light situations, like say for example, you have a camera, you have two cameras, one is full frame and one is crop sensor, right? You're in the exact same environment, like say like a low light situation, and you have a similar setting, similar aperture, and a similar lens and aperture and settings on the other camera. You take that exact same photo in the same lighting conditions, in low light conditions, the full frame camera is going to be able to capture more light, creating a better image versus the APS-C. That's a very, very simple way of like explaining this. Is very, very simplified. There's a lot more science and physics that goes into that, but generally speaking, in layman's terms, you're going to get a better result out of a full frame camera just by the sheer physics and like science behind it. There's a lot of other factors, of course. So before you guys fucking beat me up in the comments, there's a lot of other factors that are included in that. But just for the sake of the question and the example, typically, yes. A better result will be yielded from a full frame sensor. It's just physics. Yeah, it's just physics. It's science, boys. It's science. By the way, there's tons of YouTube videos that like cover all of this kind of stuff. If you guys are ever interested or are nerds like me and are curious about some of the science behind, like, you know, how photography works and video capturing video, like there's a lot of it's pretty impressive tech, man. Like we're capturing real life and storing it on an SD. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy that this captures our memories. You guys can barely even see it in the frame right now. Like, that's wild, dude. It can capture a lifetime of memories. What is the best budget lens for Canon RF mount? What's a budget? What's your budget, buddy? What is your budget? How much money are you trying to spend? Is it a lot? Is it a little? What does a budget mean? What? Under 1,000 for a lens? Oh, that's a pretty good budget, dude. What are you trying to shoot with it? Like, what kind of photos are you trying to capture? And don't say a little bit of everything. For $1,000, you can get a decent lens, though. Yeah, you're just the HDD is just a slow process, and like it's possible that after doing that for a year, 2 years, Catherine, that your HDD could possibly fail, you know, and then you'll lose everything. SDDs have a less tendency to fail on you. Talking head for videography. I would probably do something like this right here on a crop sensor, you said, right? What is the best budget lens for Canon RF mount? Oh, so full frame. Are you on YouTube or on TikTok? On TikTok, I have a link in bio. So go over to my profile picture, guys. And you guys can go and see my link in bio. So if you guys go to my link in bio by touching my profile picture, I have a link in bio right here. You hit that. And then I have an Amazon link right here. And then I have a whole section about all of the lenses that I own and recommend. I own all of these lenses. Talking head RF. Is it full frame or crop sensor? Full frame talking head. I really like the 24 millimeter. That's actually what I'm using right now on this R8 right here. This R8 right here is a full frame. Granted, I am vertical. But this 24 is really nice. Another one that I like is the 35 is really nice. If you're looking for, so that's really cheap too. That's $600. The 28 is really good too. 16 is nice if you're even wider, but if I had to pick one, I would probably do the 24 or the 35 depending on how much space you have. If you have a lot of space, I would do the 35. If you're in a cramped area, the 24 millimeter is nice. Yeah, the 16 is really wide though. 16 is like if you don't have a lot of space. But the 16 is f2.8, which is gonna keep you from having that blurry background. But I'm literally using this lens right here, the 24 right now. Like I said, I am vertical right now, so it is a little different. So this right here is the 24 millimeter. So keep in mind that I am this way versus this way. 2.8 has a very blurry background, not as much as the 1.8 or the f2 or the f1.4. It's fine, but I prefer the, you know, I like the blurrier background, but 2.8 is nice. I also like having the ability to, like, you know, control my lights at f1.8. Is it sharper than the Sure VP? I don't know. The Sure, they don't have it for that's not an RF mount, is it? Can't decide R5 II or R6 III. I want the best of the best. Best of the best is R5 II, bro. That's an easy one. Let's Luca. If you want the best of the best, it's the R5 II, my guy. Yeah, that's an easy one, buddy. That is an easy one. For those of you guys that are just hanging out on TikTok, if you haven't followed already, please consider doing so. If you are on YouTube and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Also have an Instagram account that I have been slowly over the past couple of weeks. It's been growing and growing and growing. I'm trying to get to 2K by the end of this month. I'm like 14 followers away. So if you haven't followed over on Instagram, please consider doing so. I've been posting a lot of trial reels and a lot of people are, let's see, I got some comments here, messages. Bruce. Notifications. Liked your comment. Does the R6 III does everything the R6 III but better? No. R8. I think the R6 II is also impressive, kind of underrated. Yeah, pretty solid. Just depends on what you're doing, broski. David, my guy, what's up, buddy? David, I watched your video yesterday, man. I watched your YouTube video. Should I buy the C50 or the latest? If you can afford the C50, you should get the C50. Thoughts on the 35 to 150? I like the 35 to 150. It's heavy though. Is that the f2 to f2.8? That's a big ass lens. Really crazy lens, actually. I see a lot of wedding guys that use that lens. Yo, is the R7 good for sports photography? It's all right. Yeah, R7 is nice. If you're looking at the R7 though, I would probably wait for the R7 Mark II. R7 is nice though. I like the R7. I recently sold mine. I had the R7 since brand new, but I sold it last week. What you got going on this weekend, David? What are you working on, buddy? Our buddy Chester was here earlier too. He left to go get some food. What do you think are the best lenses for the R7? What are you doing, Kesby? What are you trying to do with it? I tried vlogging with the 18 to 50. It's so hard. It's a little tight, bro. It's a little tight, dude, for sure. For sure. Yeah, but also, dude, David, I don't vlog like this, dude. Like, I don't vlog holding my camera out. I think like that's such a, in my opinion, such a stupid way to vlog. Unless you have like a DJI Pocket 3 or a DJI Pocket 4, that kind of vlogging is not for me, dude. I'd rather do what I've been doing and kind of like set my camera down on a tripod or on a tabletop and kind of point it at me. But the 18 to 50 is going to be a little punched in, bro. Any RF best lenses for the C50? It depends on what you're doing. Terratones. Basketball photography on the R7. You know what? There's a new lens that just came out, the Tamron 17 to 70 f2.8. That lens is probably going to be really good, dude, for the R7. Fiorella Pie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. We're doing good on the follows today on YouTube. You guys that are hanging out over on TikTok, if you haven't already, please consider going over to my my YouTube channel to follow. Also, our buddy David down here, Gerald, what's up, Gerald? Is also a content creator, YouTube creator. So if you haven't followed him, please consider doing so. We're just trying to support each other's creative ambitions and content creation journeys. So any kind of help is greatly appreciated. Gerald, my brother. I'm doing good, broski. How you been? Did you get any of those photos done from the air show, bro? I want to see them. What is the good affordable third-party lens for the R50V? Bro, I really like the 17 to 70 Tamron that just came out. That one is like really enticing, dude. Tamron 17 to 70. I'm definitely gonna buy it at one point. I just have no need for it right now. Yeah, look at this guy. I want to see a better photo. Is it this one? Yeah, this lens right here, dude. This is nice, dude. 17 to 70 f2.8 Canon RF. What the fuck, dude? For 800 bucks? Shit. What? And it's stabilized and it's f2.8. Fuck. Yeah, dude. This lens is stupid, dude. You might actually, David, this lens is probably more up your alley than the 18 to 50, broski. You know, it's bigger. It is bigger. So I would be thinking about selling your Sigma here pretty soon, or at least trading it in. I don't know. Well, actually, you did say that the price was different down there, right? So that is like in America, you know. Nope, they are trash. The photos? Come on, bro. All of them? Every single one? No way, dude. I doubt that, dude. You have to have at least one. Looks nice, but the price, I'll wait for a used one. That's what lenses cost, bro. Like if I get it, shit's expensive, dude, but if these kind of prices like worry you, we got to focus on a couple of other things before we start buying camera lenses and camera gear, dude. $749 is like an easy price, dude. Like when I saw this price on it, I thought it was going to be $1,200, $1,000. I didn't think it was going to be more than that, but when I saw it was under $800, my jaw literally dropped. I was like, what? Like what? What was the lens you said for the R7? This one, Kesby. This one right here. The one that I'm looking at right now. I'll sell my RP. Yes, I love that punched in shots for most of my clips. What was the lens you said? Gonna buy one from another country. Heard it's gonna be 2K. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. 2K for this is high. But if I didn't already own the 18 to 50, And I'm also kind of transitioning from crop sensors over to full frame cameras, or at least putting more emphasis on that, because I'm starting to take my like freelance work just a little bit more serious. These past couple months I've been like real busy with freelance work, so I've been like doing pretty good. And my freelance work is all done with full frame cameras. So we're slowly getting there, man. Slowly getting there. It's a grind though, dude. I've been doing this for 7-8 years. So for those of you guys, is the Tamron APS? Yeah, this is a APS-C lens. So like for those of you guys that just got started or been doing it for like a year, less than a year, you guys are just babies. You guys are just babies. You know, we got a long way to go, boys. Long way to go. Long way to go. And that's all right. That's all right. You know, it's all right. It's the 17 to 70 is a 27 to 112 millimeter equivalent on full frame. I prefer real camera footage than smartphone, is more organic, just saying. Nobody hears nobody, hey Gillian, nobody in this chat is going to defend cell phone photography, broski. How does it compare to the FX3, bro? What, the R6V? The FX3 is a better camera. People that are comparing the FX, that's actually a YouTube video I should make. People that are comparing the FX3 to the R6V are fucking smoking something right now. There's no comparison. The FX3 is a far superior camera, but it's a very different camera, dude. It's a very, very different camera. I have a 2Ti and a Sigma 17 to 70 f2.8 to 4. Do I save up and get an R10 or a? You should probably upgrade to an R10 at some point. I'm selling my Canon R10 right now, by the way. I have a Canon R10 and it is for sale with a lens included. I'm high as fuck. Okay. But if you would compare the R6V to any Sony camera, which I would compare it to the FX2. Actually, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Let's see. Canon R6V. I would compare this to the Sony FX2. If anything, yeah, I would compare it to the FX2. This is a much better comparison in my opinion, minus that the FX2 has a weird ass viewfinder, but this is a more comparable camera in my opinion. 32 megapixels, 33 megapixels. Both of them have IBIS. Both of them are proper cinema cameras. Yes, very, very similar specs, dude. Very similar specs. The FX2, all Sonys have like crazy low light. So yeah, I would be recommending, this is the video that I'm going to be making. FX2 versus R6V. That just makes a lot more sense. Yo, how much for the R10? I'm selling, I have a video on my TikTok account, Janek, if you want to check it out. It is for the United States only though. So if you're not in the United States, then it doesn't apply. It's not for sale for you. What is the price of the RP? I don't know. You can Google that. Why isn't the R6V equal or better to the FX3? The FX3 is more comparable to the C50. The FX3 is also $4,000, David. Is it the MP count for low light? No, it's the ISO sensitivity, but typically cameras that have lower megapixels, again, it's the idea of the lower megapixel has larger buckets to capture light, if you remember that analogy. But regardless, the Sonys just have really crazy low light capabilities. No, the camera, the FX3 was always above 3,000. It was like $3,500, $3,800. And then over the years, it started at like 38, 36, and then it's gone all the way up to 42. Yeah. Yeah, the FX3 has always been 35, 36. I wanted to buy the FX30 for a starter gear because I want to do music videos, but a production company told me just go for the FX3 directly. Yeah. Yeah, the FX3 is nice, dude. So here we go, David. The launch price, again, keep in mind this is USD, right? The launch price, so the camera came out in 2021. Jesus, 5 years, dude. It came out at $3,900, and its current MSRP 5 years later is $300 more. Yeah, for music videos, the FX3, you can't really get a better camera than the FX3, dude. Thought COVID was last year. Yeah, 5 years, dude. 5 years, man. That's why there needs to be, they did kind of, actually, let's go to Alpha Rumors. Alpha Rumors, I think they said that they are dropping an FX5. So let's go over to Alpha Rumors and see what they got going on over there. I hate going on this website though. Confirmed. Sony to announce an FX5 and an RX10V in July. July's next week, man. R6V paired with the R6 Mark III. Solid, dude. Chester, we got David back in the chat, man. Yo, I'm back, but I think I'm gonna have to hit the hay. That's all good, bro. I appreciate you stopping in. No worries. No worries, bro. I appreciate you popping in. Late July, we will get the new Sony FX5 new global shutter. That's pretty crazy. Open gate 5K, slightly bigger than the Sony FX3. This camera is going to be $6,000 though, dude. It's going to be $6,000. What's your favorite camera to shoot with? Probably the R5 Mark II. I saw the leak of the FX5. It looked like some gorilla. Yeah. Yeah, it's all rumors and stuff. It'll be pretty cool though. It'll be pretty cool. It's gonna be $5 to $6 grand though, dude. It's gonna be like the entry point above the FX3, which, but hey, Sony does what Sony does, man. Let's go to Canon Rumors. Let's see what Canon Rumors has going for us. Any new stories? Canon releases firmware update for the EOS C80. Canon releases major C50. Ooh, look at this. A major firmware update with lots of new features, bug fixes, incorporates. I'm gonna definitely have to wait for this. Enables operation with the following functions from an external device via USB connection. Okay, change the color and level indicator when orientation of camera is level. Oh, cool. I saw, have there been rumors of the RX? There haven't, think photo. They haven't. I think if the R7 Mark II will drop, it'll be late this year. I think that the next camera that they're going to be talking about is a refresh to the R8. They're thinking, what I saw is that they're doing two R8s. An R8 like vintage kind of looking camera. And then I think they're going to do an R8V. I think the R8V would be very interesting as well. Remove the RF patent. We need more RF lenses. Midnight, I actually don't think that it's Canon is blocking the RF patent anymore. They did open it to Sigma and Tamron. R8 is crop. Nope, R8 is full frame. R8 is full frame. They were talking about doing that. Yeah, the V lineup has been a lot more successful for them, you know, in my opinion, than I think they anticipated. They're just really cool video cameras, dude. And like the world is moving over from photo to video pretty seamlessly, you know, so it makes sense that they would make in my opinion, it makes sense that they would make an R8 Mark II and an R8V. The vintage thing seems kind of weird to me. I don't know if they would do that. It makes more sense to me that they would do an R8 and an R8V. Canon rumors have been talking about it since 2022. Talking about what since 2022? It takes a long time, dude. It takes a long time. But Canon rumors for me, dude, I've been pretty happy with what they've come up with, man. You know. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with some of their rumors. I think Canon rumors and Sony Alpha rumors are pretty decent. You know, I don't take it as gospel though. So that's the thing, you know. Can I throw my lens when it says I wouldn't throw my lens. Doing it multiple times though. I would see if I can get it repaired, dude. Enables automatic reconnections. Got it. View assist can now be applied and adjusted during playback. Cool. Is it worth to repair? Depends on the price of the lens. Yeah. Yeah, it depends on. It might also be your camera that's busted. Does it do it with other lenses, JP, or is it just the camera or that lens? What do you think? Which is the best place to order used lenses and camera? I like MPB. I like MPB and KEH. I've never had issues with those places. No, just the lens. Yeah, I mean, if it's not worth fixing, then just get another one. If cleaning it doesn't help, you know, it doesn't sound like it's an expensive lens. If it's worth more than $500, I would definitely consider getting it fixed for sure. If it's $100, $200 lens, then I would just buy a new one and say fuck it, you know. Yeah, that's up to you though. If it's worth it. If it's worth it. All right, so the C50 new update, got it. R6V in stock and ready to ship. So that's pretty much it, nothing else. Yeah, so here's the EOS R8 Mark II. Again, these have been around for a little while, since April of 2026, so. But I think what's more likely to happen is going to be a regular R8 Mark II and an R8V is my thinking. If you had to choose one camera and two lenses in Apocalypse but had to shoot a wedding, which one would you choose? Canon R5 Mark II with a 28-70 and the 70-200. Done. Done. And I would see if I can fit the 15-35 somewhere. I would sneak that in. If I could have those three lenses, I'm out of here. R5 Mark II. Ooh, but I like my other cameras too. I don't know. That's a hard question. That's a hard question. If I had to go, if I had to drop everything and go and I could only carry one and one. That's hard, dude. I don't like this question, man. I don't like it. Don't make me choose. They're all my treasures, man. Yeah, they're all my treasures. But for real, if I had to do, like I've said this a couple of times, if I had to do it all over again, I would choose the R5 Mark II and the 28-70. Actually, I have it right here. This guy right here. This is I call this combination right here. This is Big Bertha, aka Big Chungus, aka the thickest. R5 Mark II, 28-70. You can't go wrong with this guy. There we go. Let's see. Would you recommend a 150-600 or 200D? Yeah. Why not, man? What point and shoot do you recommend for travel? I like the PowerShot V1. PowerShot V1 is pretty nice. I think it's like probably the best camera that I would get that is in that price range. PowerShot V1, boom. Can't beat this. Nice little point and shoot. Good for recording videos. Built-in lens. Solid, dude. Throw it in my bag. Forget about it, you know. What stabilized lens would you recommend for the R50V for sports or bird watching? Probably that Tamron 17-70, man. Yeah, the 17-70 that we were looking at already. This guy. This guy's wild, dude. Wild. Tamron 17-70 f2.8. Built-in image stabilization. Crazy, dude. Is it good for rugby? Rugby and field sports, you're probably not going to be able to reach what you want to reach. So if you need that longer reach, I would do like a 100-500, but that's significantly more money. Field sports, like sports that are played like rugby, football, soccer, those kind of sports that are played on a long field really need like a 100 to 500. Yeah, but for indoor sports like, you know, wrestling, basketball, volleyball, indoor soccer, tennis, those short kind of, you know, distance sports, 70 to 200 is fine. How about the 50 to 140? That's a pretty good one. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Again, just think about what sport you're going to be filming, right? Like, does it have a huge field? And one of the things that you guys got to consider is like the environment. So is there low light? Is the sport played at nighttime? Is it played in the evening, in the afternoon, or in the daytime, or in the morning? So there's a lot of factors. It's not just like, hey, this lens is good for this. There's a lot of other variables that you guys need to take into account. How often do you need brand support for your cam gear? I plan on buying a Tamron off country for a cheaper price, but I'll lose the product support and insurance. I would probably just wait, David, buying a gray market product. I've never done that. I've never needed product support like ever for any of my actually one time I did. My R8 died on me once randomly, just like shit the bed, and I had to use product support and they fixed it for free, and they wouldn't have if they knew it was a gray market. So that's a risk that I probably wouldn't take. You know what I mean? I probably would not do that. Gerald, what's up, Gerald? Thank you. Well, is it good one? Well, it's a good one because it's 2.8 constant. Yeah, this lens right here, their Tamron is going to come out with a bunch of lenses for the RF mount that are going to be like, whoa, holy shit. And they're going to be pretty affordable too. Just uploaded my quick short to YouTube, got 25. What the hell? Nice, bro. Where is it on your channel on YouTube? Let me check it out. Where are you, Gerald? Let's watch it, bro. Go to channel. Let's see. You said it's on your shorts? Is it this one? Nice. Let's watch it, dude. Let's watch Gerald. This is Gerald's video right here, guys.
It is time to rock, roll, and
nice edit, dude. Woo! You edited this? You need a monopod. Solid, bro. Yeah, you need to get. Do you have a monopod? I know you do. Yeah, nice work, dude. Bro, you need to be on YouTube, man. I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, the footage of you tracking the cars, the shot of you tracking the cars is a little like, it looks like that was handheld. I would work on your elbows, dude. Work on your elbows and holding the camera like super tight for these shots. Also, were these shots just like quick snippets of just random stuff, or did you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, in this edit, were you planning on editing this in this way, or did you capture this footage, bring it all in, and piece everything together after the fact? Yeah, it's also a vibe too. Yeah, the shaky footage is also a vibe for sure. In my opinion, it's a little bit too punched in for it, but to each their own, you know. I would have liked a little bit more because I can't make anything out. You know, I can't see the numbers of the cars on some of the shots. But no, great edit, dude. Fucking right, man. Yeah, just quick snippets pieced together. Yeah. That's kind of what it looked like, which is fine. 100%. My recommendation for it is just to have a little bit more forward planning, like, you know, thinking ahead of what you want the video to kind of look like, and capture snippets of video. You don't have to like commit like a lot of time to planning this out, but just have an idea of like, hey, I can make this, and here's a shot for this, and I'm gonna edit this to form like a sequence, you know. GG's on the fucking edit though, dude. Yeah, GG's on the edit, dude. There he is. First comment, first like, broski. Yeah, and sometimes you know, shorts behave differently on YouTube than they do on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah, again, great effort, dude. Fucking right, man. I love it. I love it, dude. Did I upgrade to the Canon R7 from the 600? I have 150 counter converted as well. I would, yeah. Just follow. Thanks. I got you, Gerald. Yeah, dude. Nice. I do like the edit a lot, man. I do like the edit. And I'm being critical because, and I'm being particularly critical because it's an excellent video, you know, and there's always a little bit of room for improvement, but just a little bit of planning goes a long way, dude. A long way. The 150 to 600 is F7. That's really dark. F7 is wild. Malik, what's up, Malik? Welcome back. But Gerald, thank you so much for sharing that video, man. Malik, always appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't followed already on TikTok or subscribed on YouTube, now is your opportunity to do so. My 2 hours for today is up. I'm gonna get out of here and get myself some breakfast, maybe drink a little bit of coffee. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Malik, Gerald, David, God bless you guys. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Adios.